Right, so my name is Sofija Stefanovic and I'm a writer. I do a lot of interviews for Dumbo Feather. I also write for TV. One of my favourite things to do is to do interviews, and it's one of the things I get the most joy out of. Okay, so when I'm writing a new piece, I always make sure that I do a lot of research. I think that's very important to come into an interview knowing about the person. But then when I'm doing the interview, I generally pretend that I don't know all the things, because I think it's bad to come into an interview and just behave as if you know everything, because then the person you're interviewing will just kind of sit there because you already know everything about them. But if you're curious, they'll answer your questions, in a more engaging way, and you can use the knowledge that you have of them to steer the conversation in the direction you would like it to go. A really great interview is when you form a connection with the person you're speaking to, and when you learn something. I really like having interviews where I'm surprised. I'm, quite a curious person, and I love being told something new, and I love to find something out. And I think that interviews are about storytelling as much as anything else is. And I think that it's very rewarding to hear an amazing story and be able to present it as an interview. I try to be really good with time, especially because the people who I'm interviewing often give me quite a bit of their time. So they say, at the beginning of the interview, I'll ask, how much time do you have? And if they say 20 minutes or 45 minutes, I make sure that I stick to that time. So as the interview is nearing, 10 minutes away from the end, I'll say something like, we're getting to the end now. I just wanted to ask you a couple of extra questions. I think it's very important to be gracious and to be to appreciate the fact that the person is giving you their time. So you have to go into an interview knowing that this person has set aside their personal time in order to talk to you. So you have to be you have to never forget that. Another golden rule is allow for the conversation to go in different directions. So if the person you're interviewing suddenly starts talking about something different, it could lead you somewhere really interesting. So kind of go with the flow a little bit. Be prepared to share things about yourself, especially if you're asking someone very personal questions about their life, or touchy questions, or if someone has a story that is, maybe a little bit traumatic or something. You have to be sensitive to that, and if they ask you a question, you need to be prepared to answer it as well. Make a connection with the person. This is really important, I think, because if they think that you're just an annoying anonymous journalist who's pestering them, they're not going to give you good answers. But if they actually like you and they want to give you answers, it always makes for a much better interview. So if you're kind and interested and genuinely curious about the person, it makes a difference. Because in the end, we're all storytellers. And even if we're not writing fiction, if you're writing an interview, it still needs to have a beginning, a middle, and an end to keep your readers interested. So you have to hook them with something. So what's the most interesting thing about this person? Or what's the thing that kind of will pique readers' interest? And then we go into the story, so the middle of it. And then at the end, we conclude it in a way that satisfies our reading audience.